everyone, how are you? It's Friday and I'm so excited to post another video. Also tomorrow's Halloween. I hope you guys are getting ready for an awesome, exciting Halloween weekend. I know I am. But basically, I decided that since for my first video I didn't get to share that much personal information about myself simply because it was so focused around Brittany in Las Vegas, that I wanted to share a little bit more of myself with you guys in this video. So I wanted to make sure that I shared a part of my life with you guys that was really important to me, that I feel shaped me heavily and was such a big influence on my life growing up. And so I wanted to share with you guys my coming out story. And so basically, I feel that before I start, I should just give you a little bit of a background. I grew up in an upper middle class, very conservative town, a little bit north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And so basically, I feel like my experiences, in short, were not too far off the norm of what a stereotypical, I hate saying it this way, but a stereotypically gay growing up story would be like. I was always very flamboyant, always very effeminate, and so obviously that was recognized, and it was very much so acknowledged that I was not the same as the other guys, and as such, there wasn't a lot of physical bullying or physical violence where I was from, but there was a lot of name-calling and verbal abuse and a lot of me being ostracized for being different. And it wasn't fun, to say the least. But that's how I grew up. That's how everything kind of presented itself to me. And, I didn't really know that there was too much of a difference aside from the fact that there was, name calling and stuff, which I didn't like, but I kind of I lived with it, and it made me upset, but I just, you go with it. You don't like it per se, and you get upset, and it's not fun, but when it's been there, your whole life, eventually you kind of get a thicker skin, and you learn how to deal with it. So that's basically what happened. And if I just kind of fast forward to the beginning of my middle school years, when people are really starting to get into their sexuality, because when you're 6th grade, you're you just turned 12, so a lot of people are just starting and going into puberty, and so all these people were just that's when it kind of kicked up a notch and was no, you're gay, you're really gay. And I was just excuse me, no, I'm straight, all this stuff, because, I didn't know myself, and I've had some crushes on girls before, and either way, even if I hadn't, I don't believe in letting other people define who you are. I believe in defining that for yourself, and so when I'm confused or I don't know about something, the last thing that I'm going to do is let you tell me who I am. So basically, at that point, it was just straight out, and I don't want to call it denial, because I said, I was kind of confused and I didn't know myself yet, but I was just no, I'm straight, no, I'm straight, no, I'm straight, and it was just always that back and forth argument between them saying this and me saying that, and it wasn't like a lot of things, it was not pleasant, but so at that point, then, it also kind of started to just, multiply and get worse, because a lot of people just decided that they didn't believe me, and so they just decided to keep going and say, no, you're this. They had to be the one who would define me, because there's no way that someone like me could fit into their, heteronormative mold. It just wasn't a thing. So eventually, I learned the word metrosexual, and that's how I started describing myself. So it was just, no, I'm straight, I just have a lot of flamboyant tendencies. So that's how I lived my life and how it went forward. And at this point, I really started to develop like full-fledged crushes, and I developed my first huge crush on this boy who he was a friend of mine at the time, and he was nice enough, but I thought he was like really cute, all this stuff, and it worried me a little bit because I didn't know what to do with it. Like, it was confusing. I didn't know how to feel about it. And to make matters worse, it's not like he was gay. He was totally straight. And he was like a sports player and all that. So I very much so just didn't really know what to do other than just kind of continue my friendship. And I guess like as I was interacting with him, people kind of started to figure out that maybe there was a little bit of like a extra like thing there, that maybe I didn't just want to view him as a friend. Maybe I wanted to view him as something a little bit more. But moving forward, like, I guess that crush continued on for a while. And in 8th grade, I think, started to test the waters a little bit with how I perceived things. And so I actually talked to a couple of my girlfriends at the time, and I was just like, hey, so, I don't know, but I feel like there might be like a chance that like I'm bisexual or something. And it was very like kind of subtle, but at the same time, like, I don't know, is anything really subtle or covert when you're like whispering to friends in middle school? Like, I feel like it doesn't just happen that way. So basically, I kind of let that fade out, and I just kind of went back to my whole mantra. It's like, no, I'm straight. Like, and to them I was like, no, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, I don't know. I think it was just the fact that like everyone was calling me gay so often that I just wanted to believe it, and make my life easier for myself or something like that. You know, I don't even know. But basically, from that point, I got into high school, and just going to high school in my first year and a half, like, I was still closeted, and I just, you know, was dealing with it, living life the way that I had lived life for 9, 10, 11 years, that I'd like actually been interacting with like other people. And so I guess like that was just how I lived my life and how I went about things. And so then it came to like the middle of my sophomore year, and I just decided that enough was kind of enough. Like, by this point I had figured out, like, you know what, like, I've had crushes on girls before, but I've also had crushes on guys, and it's not just like a quick little emotional infatuation. Like, there were like actual desires. Like, I was sexually attracted to these people. So I just kind of accepted that fact, and it took me a while to kind of like come to terms with it in the way of like, actually, how am I going to let this portray myself? And so I came out to like literally one person who was a close friend who like listened to me and just would always be like my little sounding board. And she was the only person who would know about like if I had a crush on someone and who that person was and what I was going to do about it, which 9 times out of 10 was absolutely nothing, because there was nothing I could do about it. But either way, it got to a point where I was just kind of tired of hiding. And I went on Facebook and I typed out this long paragraph, and it was right at like, it was late at night. And I was so scared to press that submit button. I literally sat there for a good 5 minutes before I mustered up the courage to press that submit button, because I had a friend who had come out and who had been the person who had a horrible experience coming out, where people were like, no, like, we don't accept this. We don't love you. Like, we're not going to be your friend anymore. Like, I don't know. It's just, I I was terrified. I was so worried about like what was going to happen, and I didn't want to make anything worse for myself. So that's when I was so scared. But I just said, you know what, like, you have to do this. Like, you can't continue living in a box anymore where you're allowing other people to define you by not coming out and sharing who you are. So I wrote in this long post, I said, okay, everyone, here it is. You want it so bad, you can have it. Some of y'all know, most of y'all don't. I'm bisexual. There, happy? This isn't staying up long for a few reasons, but yeah, I hope y'all enjoy it. Don't see why it matters. Y'all who hate me will still hate me, and those who love me will still love me. One question, what are you going to spend time doing now that you're not questioning my sexuality? So I posted that, and overnight, like, it grew and grew and grew and grew, and there were so many comments of love and acceptance, and so many likes, and I hate to like sound really superficial and be like, oh my god, like all these likes matter to me so much, but at a time where I was setting myself up to be very emotionally vulnerable, it did. It mattered a lot, because seeing that made me feel so much better about being free and open about who I am myself, and that just, it made everything better. And so from that point forward, I literally just had decided from that point forward that I was always just going to live free and be true to who I am. And I haven't regretted that yet at all. So I'm in my junior year of college now. I'm 20 years old. And I honestly, it hasn't been all rainbows and butterflies and sunshine, but there's been a lot of good things. And, you know, all of that started when I decided that I could be open and true with who I am. And I've had awesome friends who have backed me along the way, who have been everything that I needed, like when I would be upset, or if, like, just people were being harsh. And, you know, that's just, it's the truth of life. Like, people, it's not going to be happy all the time, no matter who you are. So just having those friends really helped me. And, you know, now I'm just totally like, not that I really hide it, but if anyone asks, like, I tell them right away. I said, yeah, no, like, I like guys, like, chill. And, like, I do have, like, a heavy preference for men, so that's just what I say. Like, I don't, like, get into terms of it, like, oh, like, I'm bisexual with, like, this heavy preference, so that is technically what I consider myself. It's just, you know what, yeah, I like guys, and I just haven't looked back, and my life wouldn't be any better if I stayed in the closet. In fact, I feel like it would be so much worse. So, yeah, I guess that's my coming out story. Again, I hope that all of you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day and enjoy your weekend. So I will see you next week. Bye.